There are no mics.
That will conclude my opening remarks.
Talk about just the overall performance tonight. Points in the first half, you came back and held down our team to 13 points in the second half. Overall, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought, obviously defensively, neither team got off to a great start. Offensively, we knew their challenge was going to be significant. They did a great job mixing their quarterbacks and the run pass options off of both. I think when it got to 31-14, I think a few of our guys kind of took a deep breath and relaxed too much. And that's on all of us collectively of just having the killer instinct mindset of finishing the deal. And against those guys, you're not going to finish it in the first half. They're too talented. But after the punt return, I think that there was a little bit too much of that. Marcus Mariota, you might want to go buy a lottery ticket. Marcus Mariota made a couple mistakes, threw an interception, which I'm actually glad, I think, that happened to get that off get off the schneid. It was one of those kind of almost touchdown tip, great play again by them situations. But bunch of our guys, just like everybody this time of year, are beat up, banged up, and I thought it was a really gutty performance by a bunch of guys, particularly defensively. Our skill guys did a great job rotating between whether it was Royce Freeman, Byron Marshall, Charles Nelson, Dwayne Stanford, Darren Carrington. All those guys had big-time roles in the game plan. So, big road win. Compliments to Cal on a great effort. Particularly offensively, those guys are lights out. They're down, obviously, their best player defensively tonight, and hopefully he'll be back soon for them.
Mark, I know you guys don't care about individual stuff, but Marcus is now the career passing leader at Oregon. And just can you expand on his performance tonight?
On his performance tonight?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I don't know. I just got handed these, so I'm gonna lie to you if I know the stats.
5 TDs and the 1 pick.
Yeah.
Tough runs.
Yeah. He had some big time runs. He did a really good job, I thought, of managing some contact tonight in situations where either got the first down or had a manageable second down and got either down or out of bounds. Had a couple mistakes, which are it's almost funny, when the guy, you just expect him to be perfect, and afterward we kind of looked at each other like, I actually made him, and the O-line were giving a hard time after the game, but yeah, Marcus is such a stud, and it's great that he has another year and a half left.
Mark,
My man in the bow tie didn't laugh. See, he's with me, right?
Mark, taking kind of a step back and looking big picture, how do you think your defense has played this year?
Taking a step back in big picture, good in spurts, really good at times. Our whole thing tonight, going into this game, they're going to make some yards. I thought they made some spectacular plays, throwing and catching, and they've done that on almost everybody. With the exception of Washington, they've been able to score a ton of points and get a ton of yards. Troy Hill almost has a 102-yard pick six, and instead it's a touchdown for the other team. Had some a ton of other, just almost type of situations, but bunch of guys again played a ton of football, whether it's defensively and in special teams, and gutted it out.
It's kind of unfair because you guys are judged differently because you're in that elite class of a few teams. With that in mind, do you believe in the adage that defense wins championships?
I believe in the adage that teams win championships. And our guys, I thought that was, kind of, and we talked about this in the locker room, is there's a bunch of guys in that locker room that are disappointed that the margin wasn't different, and their role in that deal, and that's a great thing, and that's also a frustrating thing. Like when Nick Saban was talking the other day about how frustrating it is when people expect certain things to just happen. Then you just said what leads to that, and that's great. But at the same time, that's a really good football team. A really good football team, very talented team, especially skill-wise on both sides, and to win on the road, neutral site, short week. A bunch of guys gutting it out. You can't just look at numbers and go, these guys stink.
Charles was obviously strong on special teams again today, but what goes into the decision to expand his role on offense? He was in there, receiver, running back today. When does that kind of start to come into the plan?
When I said this guy's too good to not have the ball in his hands more, and people can kick away from him or make him directionally whatever, and Coach Frost did a great job of incorporating that along with the rest of the offensive staff to force feed the guy. He's just too good. I mean, as you can see with the ball in his hands, and he is definitely a phenomenal special teams player. He's one of the best natural special teams players, just as far as avoiding blocks, making tackles in space. He is a physical guy for his size. I mean, he's a physical guy, period, and especially for his size. Obviously there were some opportunities that are normally taken up by a couple other people that were there for the taking, and so had to spread it around a little bit.
This is your first appearance here at Levi Stadium, and the Pac-12 Championship game will be played here in December. There's a chance you guys could be here, and I'm thinking, the condition of the field, what did you think?
I thought the field was spectacular. I like your thinking, but it was great. It was very, very firm, very hard, but awesome. I mean, it was great. I thought our fans were outstanding. This is the second away game in a row. Our fans have been phenomenal. At home they've been phenomenal for a long time, but at the trip to UCLA and the trip here have been, I've never seen that before.
Mark, Byron again able to get involved, kind of some deep balls catching, and then you put him in there. I think he averaged about 8 yards a carry, just kind of in each opportunity he's able to make plays, whether it's running or catching.
Yeah, big deal. And again, that's a total team effort. You've got Dwayne Stanford filling in, and he played every position, every receiver position tonight for us. And you can only do that if other guys are developing. Devin Allen, Darren Carrington, Farrow, Evan Bayless, Charles, Royce. All those guys together. Obviously, Thomas Tyner didn't play tonight, and so there was some more kind of there for the taking. And it was really cool on the sideline of those guys rotating around. And hey, I'm going to get the ball this time. You're going to get the ball next time. You're playing this. You're playing that. And just when you can be that multiple, it's very helpful.
Byron can do that, kind of do it in the passing game and
Huge.
back and forth.
Yep.
Mark, the first committee rankings are going to come out next week. A bunch of one-loss teams fighting for positions. Do you think style points are going to enter into it at all? Is that anything you have to think about?
No. We think about preparing for the next game, and all it means is this next game is huge. We're what are we, 7-1, and that number 8's the biggest game ever in the history of football.
Let's get some of your early thoughts on playing Stanford. They're the two-time defending champs, Mark, in the league. They're coming to your house now. You know the disappointment the last 2 years. Can you just comment on that game?
Hold for a second, Mark. We've got Charles Nelson in the hallway, and Scott Frost will be in the hallway as well. Sorry.
A lot of people will be talking about that game in the next couple days. So.
Yeah, it'll be a game that we'll be very excited to prepare for, and tonight we'll get healthy, get better the next couple days from just a health, mental, physical, psychological standpoint, and we'll be very excited to play an excellent program in Stanford. We obviously have a ton of respect for those guys, and they've gotten them better the last couple of years, and we'll be excited to prepare.
Talked a lot about running back by committee, how you still need the committee. Obviously, Thomas isn't here tonight. Kenny didn't really get in the mix, Byron here and there, but Royce, again, kind of carries the load.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see from him? Is it something that you've seen lately that you can just give him more and more? And 22 carries after 29 last week.
Yeah.
He can just shoulder that?
His delts. Have you seen his shoulders? He has very large shoulders. Royce is a stud, but that can't last over the course of a season. That many shots, the things he's been doing. He's been doing a great job in protection as well for a young tailback. That's something that you're always a little bit apprehensive of, but he's been lights out in that area. And I said it last week, we need the committee. We need multiple guys in some way to carry the load, whether it's off of Marcus or off of Royce, and just be complimentary.
Anybody else?
Mark, you're talking about the defense. In this game, it felt like almost the offense could outscore them even if they made a surge. Is that the way you approach games? That if they're going to score this amount of points, we're going to outscore them?
Well, we'd like to score a ton of points and have it be a shutout, but that they don't always comply. But that's an outstanding offensive football team, and they're a lot better on defense, I think, than they kind of get credit for. And special teams are outstanding as well. But I think certainly from an offensive standpoint, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what every guy goes into it, as far as he's gonna play his role and do his part to play great in whatever role that is, whether I'm the R5 on the punt return team, or on the left guard, or whatever it is. And then defensively, I know that we don't sit around and go, hey, we're going to try to keep them under X because we know our offense is going to score Y. They try to stop them every play.
Any other questions?
What has it been like for your defense this year to face a quarterback like Goff or Brett Hundley almost every week? You're now 17.
Yeah, it's a juggernaut. There's nobody in the Pac-12 where you look forward to, there's no deep breath. There's no, relaxation of anything. And there's so many guys in the offenses are so multifaceted, whether it's a run, whether it's a perimeter pass, whether it's a deep ball. There's so many layers to that, kind of pressure, I guess, I don't know if that's the right word, but of what can happen on any play. With so many teams we play, the ball can be anywhere. It can be, a fastball, quick game. It can be play action launch. It could be hard ball run game, and then the quarterback can pull it out and, get yards. And so it's a mental and physical challenge every single week.
Warren, last question.
Mark, can you just maybe clarify why Tyner and Armstead and Wogan didn't make the trip?
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't talk about player availability. There's nothing of a disciplinary nature with any guy, so you can figure it out from there. But hopefully we'll be fully charged next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.